what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Candid Convos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Chloe on deck. Say what's up to the people, Chloe.
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Yeah, I know it's a couple folks out there giving a little hallelujah real quick for this Wednesday, or as y'all like to call it, hump day.
Hey.
Man, shout out to everybody joining us tonight. Let's say shout out to my YouTube gang over there checking in. We appreciate you guys rocking with the platform. Also, shout out to our Facebook folks in the building as well. Man, everybody watching this, everybody that will watch this, do me a favor. Go over to the Candid Combos page on YouTube and hit that subscribe for us. Hit that subscribe button. Man, we almost at 100. Almost at 100.
Our goal is to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the month, guys. It's the 19th today. So if you support our platform, please, by all means, go to the Candid Convos YouTube page and subscribe so we can hit that 100 subscribers, y'all. That'll be a major milestone for us. We appreciate it.
For sure. Like I said, we're trying to hit that 100 for the end of the month. So definitely go over to YouTube, hit that Candid Combos page, KANDID KONVOS. Let's say hit that page for us, hit that subscribe for us. Let's say we're trying to hit that 100 subscribers before the end of the month. That's our goal. So help us hit that goal. Shout out to our early check-ins. We got Donovan in the building. He said, good evening. What's happening? What's going on with you, brother? I got Donovan in the building holding it down. Shout out to Eva Wright in the building. She said, hey, y'all, what's going on, Eva Wright? Appreciate you as always checking in. Yeah, like I said, anybody watching us right now off the YouTube, drop a comment. Just let us know you're here. Give us a little what up, though. You know, we some Midwest folks up in here. So give us that little classic what up, though. All right. See, shout out to Kenyatta in the building. She said, happy Wednesday. What's going on with you, Kenyatta? We appreciate you. Donovan said he living the dream. You know what, Donovan? What's that dream really made of, man? I think somebody been playing us for a long time, man. This American dream, this living the dream. And break that down, man. What's that dream really about? Does it even exist? Or better yet, is it really just a dream? Shout out to my guy Vince in the building. He say, listening. You know, man, let me do this real quick since my man checked in. Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
To Vince and Remy in the building.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all join the show and check my guy Vince out. He be on here dropping some gems all the time. He's a part of the Candid Convos crew, but he be on here dropping gems. So make sure y'all check in. You know what I'm saying? Follow my man Vince, get some of that good information. It's a nice, distinguished gentleman who gets on here and he drops the gems and he was, help school these fellas, help them get to where they get. You know what I'm saying? And then for all the folks out there that are seeking to be married, I said, Vince is the guy who can definitely drop some gems on you, tell you about some of his experiences and how you get to where you want to get. So definitely check out Vince when he's on the panel with us. Let's see. Kenyatta say happy anniversary. So that was to Vince right there. Let's see. Donovan also said dream made of how you handle life's jabs and punches, never giving up on living, loving, laughing, and learning. Okay. All right. See, Donovan try to put his own little twist on that one. You know, I ain't mad at that, Donovan. I ain't mad at that.
You have to, because ain't nobody buying this American dream. That don't exist. That ain't real.
No, we ain't falling for that. We
gave up on that.
Yeah, we ain't falling for that one. Well, I said, do me one more favor, y'all. Everybody who's watching us right now, everybody who's watching, hit that like button for us. Hit that like button. For the show. Likes are free. So definitely hit that like button. If you're watching us right now, hit that like button. Hit that like button. All right. So let me do this real quick while I'm thinking about it. So here is the link to the panel. So you can join us up on the panel. You drop this in your Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, your Apple device, and this will let you get on the panel with us right here in the feed. You do have the ability to cut your camera off if you choose, but we always encourage you to keep it on for a better show, better engagement. We also have this link posted in all of the chat feeds, so you can catch it at the Kandid Konvos page on Facebook or on YouTube. And you can also catch it from me at the Quay Price page on Facebook, and I'll message it to you however you need to get it. But let's say we definitely encourage you to come on the panel. We're a little light tonight, so let's say anybody who's down to get on the panel with us, come join us. So I'll leave this link up for a little bit as we get into the show. Man, I ain't even queued my video. I ain't queued my videos up. Slipping tonight, slipping. All right, well, I'll try to do it the hard way as we get into it.
Go ahead and do them videos. I'm going to talk to the lady. Listen, y'all. Remember when I told y'all about these? If you know, you know.
Doing your, what's some sweet, you say sweet treats? Is that what it is?
Smart Sweets.
Smart Sweets. Hey, Smart Sweets, hit us up. Hit us up, Kandid Konvos.
For real. I need some more product.
A little sponsorship.
For real. If you know, you know. If you have a sweet tooth like me, and you know, you're just trying to count calories, you're trying to watch, you know, your sugar intake. You see that? 3 grams of sugar for the whole bag.
Okay. All right. Shout out to them. All right. So see, we're gonna get on into this conversation. So topic for tonight. You are not the prize. Run that back. Topic for tonight. You are not the prize. Yeah, and I'm gonna say this real quick, just for everybody watching. So I actually, man, I got a couple videos we might touch tonight. Yeah, a lot of stuff has been coming my way this week, and some of this stuff is just what's the new word? Egregious. It's the word I've been hearing everywhere. Some of this stuff folks been sending me is it's egregious, but we're gonna have to talk about it. Because I'm disappointed. But yeah, we're gonna start here. Yep, you are not the prize. So let me see if I can get my little video to queue up since I didn't have my stuff together over here. Let me see how this go.
Can I tell you why you're still single? I'm about to do the Lord's work today. Sis, you're still single because you're not a prize. And before you get in your feelings, just hear me out. Here's what you got to realize about men. Because of their competitive nature, they're not going to invest emotional energy into things that don't allow them to win. This dude will pass over the girl that he knows he can get for the girl that is way out of his league because he has to win. You've convinced yourself that in order for you to get him, you're going to have to make it as easy as possible on him. And the opposite is actually true. I remember when my husband first was checking for me, and I wanted to be married so bad, but he didn't know that. And he didn't need to know that, because when he called me, I was busy. I wasn't. He don't even realize he had me at hello. But what I knew about him was that if he did not make the emotional investment to get me, he would not make the emotional investment that it takes to keep me. So every time I see one of y'all talking about how ready you are to be married and writing love notes online to the husband in your head, I want to take your phone and throw it across the room. Because this man is not looking for a wife. He's looking for a prize. He gonna get a wife once he marries you. You have to have enough confidence in yourself to make this man work. You are the prize.
Let me go. let me run this back. Let me run this back.
Can I tell you why you're still single? I'm about to do the Lord's work today. Sis, you're still single because you're not a prize. And before you get in your feelings, just hear me out. Here's what you got to realize about men. Because of their competitive nature, they're not going to invest emotional energy into things that don't allow them to win. This dude will pass over the girl that he knows he can get for the girl that is way out of his league because he has to win. You've convinced yourself that in order for you to get him, You're going to have to make it as easy as possible on him. And the opposite is actually true. I remember when my husband first was checking for me, and I wanted to be married so bad, but he didn't know that. And he didn't need to know that, because when he called me, I was busy. I wasn't. He don't even realize he had me at hello. But what I knew about him was that if he did not make the emotional investment to get me, he would not make the emotional investment that it takes to keep me. So every time I see one of y'all talking about how ready you are to be married and writing love notes online to the husband in your head, I want to take your phone and throw it across the room. Because this man is not looking for a wife. He's looking for a prize. He gonna get a wife once he marries you. You have to have enough confidence in yourself to make this man work. You are the prize.
Okay. Topic for tonight. You are not. Hold on, let me get that down. My bad. Topic for tonight. You are not the prize. You are not the prize. Oh no. So sis, let's see if we get this comment and say she sound crazy.
Well,
Okay.
here's the thing, right?
Come on with it. Let's go.
Here's the thing. I kind of agree with her up to a certain point. So my first, come on, Vince.
Come on, Vince.
So the first thing is this, right? I do agree with the part about a man needing a little bit of a challenge when it comes to getting or finding the woman that he's going to end up being with. I don't think that a man who is really worth your time and your energy wants you to be easy for him. I don't think he will respect that. I think he'd rather respect him actually having to put in a little bit of work, because he knows that if he has to put in a little bit of work, you're not easy in general. Or I should say there's a good chance you're not easy in general. So if he's putting in work, then the thought will be, well, perhaps the men who came before me, or whoever they were, also had to put in work. So that means this woman must carry herself a certain way if she has certain requirements. And as a woman, you should have standards and you should have requirements. And as a man, you should also have standards and requirements. And if a woman is that easy, then, perhaps that is a red flag. You shouldn't always be available to each other, not to play games, not just simply for the sake of playing games. I don't like that part. But I do agree that there should be some him maintaining of his life and you maintaining of yours. So neither person gets lost in each other, right? So there are certain points that she made that I feel are valid. Now, when she got to the part about you are the prize, here's where she loses me a little bit, because my personal perspective is anyone in the relationship can potentially be the prize, because what we're trying to do is be a prize to each other. I should be trying to be a prize to any man that's going to win me. And a man should be trying to be the prize for the woman that he ultimately invites into his life, right? Because men hold the key to relationships. So he should want to also present himself as a prize. And I think that if you have the right person, you're going to feel like they're a prize to you, whether you're a man or you're a woman. I don't think this preconceived notion of in a relationship, there's a person who is the prize. I don't agree with that, because I feel like if I'm someone who believes in what the word says, the Bible. So the word says the man who finds a wife findeth a good thing. So does that automatically mean though that women are the prize? Well, some of y'all ain't walking around acting like prizes. So I'm gonna have to say no to that. Just because you're a woman don't automatically mean you're a prize. And just because you're a man doesn't automatically mean that you're a leader and or a prize either. I feel like there's some work that has to be put in on both sides before either one of us can just be going around acting like we're a prize. So I feel like that prize thing is completely and totally subjective. However, it does have a definitive marker. And if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. So that's man or woman.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm gonna say this. I agree with some of the things that she said, but there was also some things that I didn't agree with that she said. And that's why I'm kind of sitting in the middle, right? Because I have an issue when we try to prize somebody. Because typically what happens is when you prize somebody, they translate that into I ain't got to do no work. And that's not the case. Yeah, I've been just kind of listening to what the young lady was saying. Well, let me I think that was Vince hopped up. Okay, yeah, and just listening to what the young lady was saying, she's continuing this narrative. Listen, this is just my personal opinion, but she's continuing this narrative of essentially the ladies not having to do no work. Like they just got to show up. And see, that's not the case because, you know, going back to your point, Chloe, it says he who finds a wife finds a good thing. But what that translates into is you're supposed to be a wife before he finds you. Yep. So if we pushing this prize thing and you got somebody out here feeling like they ain't got to do no work, then she's not truly preparing herself to be no wife before this husband comes along and finds her. Yeah, so I got issue with that right there. What's going on, Janice? Vince in the building. What's going on?
Hey.
Can Janice hear us? Can you hear us, Johnny? Oh, okay. You can hear us?
It's my internet.
Oh.
Okay. All right. I'm just checking. How you doing? All right. So yeah, so who was that? Somebody want to say something?
She sound crazy.
Oh, well, go ahead, Vince. Go get it off your chest, man. Get it off your chest. Go ahead.
I wasn't gonna comment on because it's my anniversary, but Remy seen it in my eyes and said, "Go ahead, go ahead." She reminds me of the lady that will say, "I'm not gonna go on a first date for a coffee date. If he can't take me to a restaurant, then he's not putting in the effort and the time. And my time is more valuable than Starbucks coffee. And if he can't take me to a restaurant, then he don't want to put no effort in." The problem that I have with that, and what most ladies don't understand, men want sex, first of all. So in the back of that man's mind, he know it's some man that didn't have to do nothing to get it. For any woman. It's some man that couldn't even bring you a chicken dinner. But you want me on a first date to put all this effort forth. See, that's the problem with a lot of women don't understand. Yeah, he should put a little effort in, but when y'all talk about an extra amount of effort, he knows in the back of his mind, it's some dude that they have to do none of that.
Right.
So my thing with this whole prize catch thing, I said, my wife is the prize, I'm the catch.
Okay, I feel that. Yeah, I feel that. That works right there. That's another way to look at it. I think we lost Janice. She might pop back up. But yeah, no, that's another way to look at it, man. But I'm always cautious when we use that, because like I said, at the end of the day, for a lot of people, it will set a expectation of not having to do anything. And like I said, young ladies do have preparations that they need to be making prior to marriage as well, or preparations to present themselves as a wife. And I think some of that is what we are not seeing today. Yeah, we're not talking about slapping on some lashes. We ain't talking about slapping on a wig. Like, we're not talking about that. Yeah, we talking about actual preparations around your character, around your specialties, your skill set, your nurturing. Let's say we talking about actual preparation, because at the end of the day, there's preparation that a man has to do. First off, he got to get his money up, because he's got to be thinking about taking care of somebody. So he got to get his money up. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, he got to figure out where y'all gonna stay, or either he got to get y'all ready to purchase somewhere to stay. So like I said, there's preparations that men go through before even really asking for a lady's hand in marriage. I think, yeah, Janice is kind of back. Okay, there she go. So yeah, there's preparations that you should do. So I look at it this way. I feel like the actual union itself is the prize. Yeah, because that's where the two of y'all get the benefit. So she benefits from the union, you benefit from the union. That's where the actual prize is. So yeah, I have some issues with some of the things that the young lady said. She also made a point about men not want to invest energy, or not want to invest emotional energy into people. I don't know how accurate that is. Because see, this is the thing about men, and like I said, Vince makes this point all the time. Men are definitely more willing to settle than women are. Yeah, so men will invest some energy in different women to see who may yield him the highest percentage of what he's looking for. Now, I know ladies get out here talking about they ain't gonna settle and all that. Yeah, men are a little more realistic around that. Yeah, because at the end of the day, men know that women are not really gonna want to accept them the way they are. Yeah, they're gonna want you to have some. We hear the stuff. They want you to be 6'6". You got to be 6 feet tall, making 6 figures, and all of this. Got to be well endowed. Got to have property. There's all type of requirements for fellas. But at the end of the day, some fellas will definitely invest some energy into young ladies to see if they can get where they can get their highest percentage towards what they're looking for. Yeah, so I kind of disagree with her on that one as well. I said I don't think she got that right up. I do agree with the point, though. She made another point about women making it too easy. So I do agree with that. I do think we see a lot of situations where women do make it too easy for men. But I also feel like some of the ladies at the same time will get unrealistic for the right man. Yep, and what I mean is for the knuckleheads, y'all will make it easy. You let the knucklehead have your body. You'll have some kids with the knucklehead. But then when the right guy come along, who's serious, who's showing you he's intentional, who's showing you what he's bringing to the table and what he's ready to provide, then you want to run him through the ringer and get him the hassle. And that's not how that's supposed to go. So I said I slightly agree with the young lady in the video, but I got to add that caveat because we see a lot of that. Yeah, the standards and the expectations are very low for the cats who don't or didn't do you right. But then when the good guy comes along, which typically you want him later in life, that's the other issue. You want the good guy later in life. When he come along, and then you want to run him through the ringer. Now he's the one who need to have all the money. He's the one who need to be on point. He's the one who need. And see, that's backwards. That's not how that's supposed to go. So we definitely got to correct that right there. We got to correct that. So yeah, I'm gonna stop right there for a minute. Do you wanna say something, Chloe?
Well, so I have to ask a question because I feel like there is another side of that, and I would say, like, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, but I don't play with the devil. So instead, I'm gonna say that let's entertain a different perspective, right? Let's look at this from a female perspective.
Go ahead.
I hear what you're saying about how some women would allow the knucklehead dude to get away with things, or she'll entertain the knucklehead dude in a way that she won't then the serious guy, the guy that she really likes. And I know a lot of women will say, well, it's because I like him. Like I like him. I want to actually see this go somewhere. So I'm going to be more guarded with him. I'm going to be more careful with him. I don't want to sleep with him right away because I don't want to give off this vibe that I'm easy. You know, like I want to make him work for it because I want him to value me, right? And women, this is the comment that I hear whenever we say, like what you just said, Quay. This is the response that we typically get from women when you say that, right? So just going with that mindset for a moment, what would you suggest as a man? What would you suggest a woman should do? Because if she's been in relationships in the past where she has presented herself too easy or just allow herself to, get in too deep with a guy too soon, or she didn't vet as well, or whatever the case may be, she did all the wrong things. And now she's like, okay, with this guy, I really like this guy. He's a good guy. I don't want to do all of those things that I did in the past because they did not work for me. So now I'm going to try to do something different. I didn't make those other guys wait. And you see what happens. So I want to make this guy wait because not to punish him, but because I didn't do that for those other guys and then it didn't work out. So I want to do it for this guy because I'm hoping that by doing it differently, it'll work out with this guy, right? So what are you guys' take on that? Because that's realistically what a lot of women will think. Like, if I did this and it didn't work, then I need to do something different. And this is their version of something different. So if you guys are now saying that don't work, then y'all got to tell the ladies, okay, well, what from your perspective as men, do you want a woman to do if she's been in situations where she hasn't always been as buttoned up? She hasn't always been as careful. Like, what is your suggestion? What should she do when she meets a guy that she really likes?
Okay, I saw that reaction. Go ahead, Vince. I'm holding. Go ahead, man.
That's horrible thinking. First of all, what I would tell a young lady is be intentional from the beginning. And I'm going to go from the book of Kevin Samuels because he said it best, the best I ever heard it. First of all, be intentional. Know exactly what you want from the beginning. If you want to get married, only date men who want to get married. If you don't want to get married, then date men who don't want to get married. First of all. Second of all, don't go out with a man you're not attracted to on the first date. Don't go out with a man that you don't want to sleep with on the second date. Because men don't think that way. Men will think, just like I told you, because sex, yes, it does change things. But at the end of the day, if you're intentional and y'all both want the same things, let's go and get it cracking. The problem was he wasn't the right person in the first place. So it ain't really got nothing to do with sex. He wasn't right in the first place. But you decided because that's who you was attracted. That's what it is. That's who you was attracted to. So you gonna make a man wait that you're attracted to, and he got all these things, but I don't want to do it fast with you because I like you. But the guy I didn't like and who was a fool, I gave him everything. How you think a man gonna think about that? That's not fair.
Okay,
That's how men think.
Okay.
That's not fair. If you gave it up to him on the first night, you give it up to me on the first night.
Okay, all right. And I asked you for your
third night, whatever.
I asked you for the male perspective, and you gave it to me, so I ain't even mad. But I gotta ask an additional.
Oh my God!
I gotta follow up with additional questions. Okay, so I hear what you're saying, and I can see from a male perspective how you feel that way. But at the same time, you guys have to also understand this too. Like, there are men going around now, and I'm not saying this is the two of you men here or the men on the panel represent this, but there are men going around now saying that they care about where a woman's been. They care about if she's been loose. They care about if she's been around. Like, I'm not saying this is all men. I'm simply saying this is something that we hear from guys these days. So if that's the case, then if then it might make a woman feel like if I like you as a guy and I give it up to you too soon, are you then going to become another one of those guys who I didn't wait, I didn't vet? Because I hear what you're saying about being intentional, but let's be honest, not all of us were intentional from the very jump. So now we have these past relationships where we weren't intentional. Some of them gave us kids. And now we're moving forward and we want to be more intentional. So, what do you say to the woman who wants to be more intentional now, but she wasn't before? Because this means now that she needs to move differently. And I hear your male perspective, but from a female perspective, that might mean I need to wait now. I didn't used to wait before. That might mean I need to, pick dudes that not the hot boy. I need to pick the calm dude now, right? That might mean that she might dress a little different or sound a little different because before it was Hot Girl Summer 365. So now she is looking at it like that didn't work for me. That I wasn't intentional. I was having fun. But now I'm serious. I'm trying to find somebody. I want to be in a relationship. So we
Well,
get messages because if she jump into bed too quick, then are we now concerned about
that don't matter? That don't matter. I mean, it don't in 2023. That don't. It really don't. I've had some of the best relationships on the one night, on the first night, second night, third day, fourth. I mean, let's get this on out the way. I mean, we grown. I mean, I know it's different.
But you can't get to know a person that fast, Vince.
Let me get some.
Let me say this. Let me say this, Chloe, too. I will say that just be honest. Be upfront. Be like, hey, I really like you. You know what? I'm not saying that I don't want to sleep with you. I'm just trying to slow it down a little bit. But then give him non-sexual. Kiss him on the cheek. Still be not sexual, but make him feel like you're attracted to him, like you really like him, that you really see something. Don't be playing no games. That's what it is. Men sometimes we feel like y'all playing games, and once you feel like you're playing games, then it's a whole nother thing. But my thing is intentional. If you say, you know what, I like you, but I want to do it different with you because I really stroke his ego a little bit. I see that you might be the man of my dreams, and I just want to do something different with you. And I just want to treat you like you ain't never been treated before. And I want to get ready for you. I want to. See how that sound? She want to get ready for me. Oh my God! But don't be like, oh no, we can't do it. But I want to go to Ruth's Chris tomorrow. You got to take because I feel like I'm valued now. Now I got to have a man that's gonna do this and do that. See, that's the problem is these games. If you're honest with somebody up front, then that's a little bit different.
Okay, that's real right there. That's real. Let me get some of these comments real quick. Let's see. Donovan, he dropped this a little earlier. Donovan said, let's see, if she's easy, anybody can have a turn. If she puts barriers, it takes a special kind to penetrate the walls. Okay, no, that's facts right there. I agree with that. Like I said, she definitely shouldn't be easy. She should not just make it easy. So let me clarify that. Yeah, like I said, most fellas who want some serious stuff, they don't want no easy girl. So let me just go ahead and speak for the fellas on that one. Let's see. Donovan also said the woman is the prize if she's the man's helpmeet. Okay. You put that big if on there, Donovan. You put that big if on there, man. Oh man, let's see. Shantae in the building. She said iron sharpens iron. Let's see. If not, you a liability. Okay. Let's see. Donovan said women adjust the bar. They lower it for the underachiever, but raise it way too high for the one that they will flourish with. That was my point. And like I said, I think in certain situations it goes a little unrealistic. Like I said, that's really the point. So it's not that she can't have standards for the new guy that comes along. But when we start, getting unrealistic, and I'm sure everybody know what I'm talking about out here. When we start doing that, and like Vince said, playing these games, then that's a whole different whole different issue that we getting into. Let's see. Shantae said, let's see, Vince, because the guy I didn't have good intentions in the first place. Okay. All right, now we understand that. Let's see. Donovan said, real men vet the potentials for the woman in the family. Let's see. Real men vet the potentials for the women in the family. Let's see. A woman who jumps in the sack, let's see, without the vetting process usually ends up wet-tailed and brokenhearted. Okay. And that's another issue right there, Donovan. In 2023, how much actual vetting are we even doing? That's a whole nother issue. Go ahead, Johnny. You want to say something?
Yes, not in my internet work for a second.
No, you good. Go ahead.
That's what happens when you try to get that free internet. So,
you can't make this shit up.
Go ahead.
I agree with Vince and Chloe. I think it's, you know how I am. I think it's situational. Everything in life is just situational. Me and my ex-husband, we did it on the first night, and we still got married, you know? So but I intentionally went on a date with him because I knew he wanted to be married. Like, I knew he wanted marriage. He was the married type. I knew he wanted a child. I knew all this. So I intentionally dated that man because I knew that's what he wanted. Right. So I think as long as you know what this person is looking for, then it's different. You know, if he said, oh, I don't want to be with somebody and blah, 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 I probably would have played more of a game, you know, but I knew what this man wanted. He told me his intentions. I knew what I wanted, you know, then it worked out. So I don't know, having sex on the first, second, third, fourth date, I don't even know if that really matters, as long as you intentionally date a person for what they tell you they want.
Right. Okay. No, I feel that right there. You want to say anything, Chloe? You good?
And to Chloe's book, I do want to make a caveat. When I met Remy, I did want to do something different. I said, we're not going to live together. And that was totally different. I lived with every woman I ever been with. And that didn't work. So I said, you know what? We're not going to live together. You know, we got married very early on. It wasn't going to take us years of dating and all that. So I understand what you're saying. And sometimes you do have to do things a little differently and a little bit more intentional. Because we couldn't live together. It wasn't, but I was no, we're not going to do that. I don't even want to live in the same house because in the past, that didn't work. You know, so I can understand what you're saying, that you want to do something different to get a better outcome.
No, that makes sense. All right, let me go ahead, Chloe.
No,
you good.
I'm
gonna pivot us after this.
I don't want to derail you.
I'm gonna pivot us after this. Go ahead.
But yeah, no, I think what I'm hearing from you, Vince, is that it's about being honest, though. Like, it's not about playing games. And I think that was something that Kevin Samuels was really good at pointing out. Like, when somebody was really just saying it just to be playing games. Like, if you're really saying, okay, I need to do something different because that didn't work for me, then I think you should be able to communicate that. And I think that the person that you're with, you should be able to articulate that conversation with them and in a way where you guys can get on the same page. And it's not about, I'm just trying to play games. You know, like in the video that he played, a homegirl, to me, when she started saying, oh, I made myself unavailable, to me, that's a little bit of playing games. That's not just you saying, I want to make sure I'm not just being super easy for this guy. I want him to have some challenge, because I actually do think y'all do appreciate a little bit of challenge. But then at the same time, just making yourself unavailable completely because, you trying to be a little bit manipulative, I do feel like that right there could be what maybe that's what you guys are really having a problem with, when a woman is playing games and not being honest and legit with it.
Right. Yeah. No, that's facts right there. Okay, I'm gonna pivot us into another one real quick. Because like I said, I just a whole bunch of videos came my way. So yeah, I'm gonna switch this up for a minute. I actually got two I'm gonna try to touch. We'll see how this go. So I'm gonna title this segment, "What Has Happened to Us." Yeah, I got 2 videos I'm gonna put up. I got some questions. I need to understand some things. So let me throw this one up real quick. We're gonna see if we can squeeze these in.
In sickness.
And in health.
And in health.
To love.
To love.
Cherish.
Cherish.
And to obey.
We didn't talk about that one in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling. Yes, we did. So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
All right. So that's one right there. So getting into this next segment, what has happened? What has happened to us? So that video right there is of a young lady and a man getting married. And the pastor gets to the point where he says to obey your husband and insists she just pulls back. Yeah, she talking about, y'all didn't talk about that in the counseling sessions before the wedding. I also posted about this, something similar to this just recently, about a husband allowing, or essentially a husband covering a wife. So him having to say so as to what she's doing, where she's going, how long she's doing it, and so forth, as a married couple. So right here, 2 examples where we have this issue pop up. So this is my question. Listen, anybody down in the comments, drop a comment. Why does this seem like we have an issue with essentially a man being in this leadership position? Why do we seem to have an issue with obeying the husband via the vows? Why do we have a issue with a man allowing or advising what he wants his wife to do? Like, where is that coming from? So anybody down in the comments, drop a comment. Just let me know. Go ahead, Janice. We can get on into it.
I just have a question. So the man is, I guess, authoritative. He's an authoritative position over his wife. Mm-hmm. He's the ruler.
He's the head.
That's not what I said. No. Obey comes, like, when you look at the definitions of it, is to obey an authoritative person. So
yeah. He does
to obey his
command.
So okay. So yeah. So to answer that question, he is the leader.
He is the leader, which comes with authority. Leadership comes with authority.
Yeah. So
it doesn't come with I'm not going to say all leadership with authority.
It comes with authority.
So hold on. Let me get some context then. So we all got leaders at our jobs. We got supervisors, we got managers, we got directors, we got VPs, executives, and so forth, right? So they have a level of authority over the team members. Would you agree to that? Come on now, Janice. Come on.
You can't make this shit up.
We might not like it, but it is technically true.
So according to the vows, because I said I'm using the video for context. According to the vows in a marriage, she is to obey that man via those vows. Do you think it's an issue with the vows she taking? Oh, that's for you, Janice. I want to know.
I mean, I probably would have to write my own vows moving forward, but that's just me personally.
Well, you got to write your own vows.
Why not? Why would you use the white man's vows?
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Okay, but in this, hold on. But in this particular, for the sake of this particular conversation, you slick with that. But for the second,
no, Johnny's trolling right now. Johnny's trolling us right now, ain't she?
I caught that.
And the comments done blew up. I gotta read it. Go ahead.
This particular conversation, I don't think it matters if the man is black or white. I think these are pretty universal. But but I think here's my thing. Like I do get why that agreeing to that. I get that why that's pretty serious, because for women it means that we're acknowledging right there in front of all of those witnesses, which is why it's in the vows. we are acknowledging right there in front of all those witnesses, regardless of how many are around, if it's 2 or 3 or whatever, but in front of witnesses, and of course, before God, we are agreeing to obey this man. So we are agreeing to come under his leadership. We are agreeing to come under his authority. We are basically agreeing, and we're in a covenant with this man, saying that we will do this. And the reason why we need to do that is because covenants are very serious, and God takes covenants very serious, which is why he instituted the first marriage arrangement with Adam and Eve. So for us, we have to understand that this particular hierarchy was established well before any of us was even alive. This was literally written into the structure of mankind, that women would be under a male's authority, right? So that's just the way it is. With leadership does come authority. We may not like it, but in theory, that's how it works. If a person is a leader over you, they have a certain amount of authority over how you do your job, over, making sure that they manage you, managing the day-to-day responsibilities that you have. That's just the way it works. And if you are the CFO of the family as the wife, you're the CFO. So you're making sure all of the things are running. You're doing the day-to-day, work of making sure that the business, as far as the administration of the family, is running smoothly. Then you can look at your husband as the CEO. That doesn't mean that your job isn't important. He needs you. You're vital to the arrangement, but that does mean that he has a certain amount of authority over the entire thing. And as women, we do have to recognize that authority. And I think that's the struggle, though. That's the power dynamic, right? That's literally the struggle between men and women right now. This is why we're seeing a lot of our relationships in the community struggle, and not just in our community, and just in general, but I have to speak to our community because I'm more closely related to what's going on in our community. And this is why we're seeing the power dynamic, right? Because as women, we feel like we've been able to achieve a certain amount of success, and we've reached a certain level in life in general, in society. So we feel like we should no longer have to be under a male's authority. But here's the thing. I would ask women, how do you want this to go? Because you can't on one side say Black women are the least protected, but then turn around and not want to submit to a man's authority. In order for a man to protect you, he has to have some authority, some say so. If you don't want to listen to that man, how is he going to efficiently protect you? He can't. Because in order for you to invite his protection and receive it and accept it, you have to first submit to it. And you're not doing that. But then you want a man to turn around and say, I'm going to protect you. How? Because you're constantly resisting. You can't even invow to a man that you say you love and want to spend the rest of your life with, say you're going to obey him.
Right.
How is he supposed to protect you then, sis? So that means when he tells you to do something, you argue about it? That's not accepting protection. So I just think as women, we have to really think about that. I don't think we think that through. I think we get triggered by the idea of what it could mean. And I think that if you know the man that you're with, and if you've done the proper vetting of the man that you are with, then he should have already shown you that you can trust him. He should have already shown you that he is reliable. He should have already shown you that he can lead by the way that he's been leading himself. He should have been able to already show you that. Now, however, if you ain't seen none of that from him, this sis, you probably shouldn't do it, period. Because if you got to stand before, when it's time to say the vows, and you got to second guess something in the vows, at that point, then ma'am, you probably shouldn't be standing up there with him holding hands.
Let me get some of these comments real fast. Go ahead, Janice, then I'm in some of these comments.
So I was looking at some stuff. I think they should add a little bit to the vow. Like obey when it's fair and reasonable.
What?
Fair and reasonable.
Who gets determined? Who gets determined?
When it's fair and reasonable.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Who determines that though?
I was looking up the Islams, and that's what they said.
Islam. I know you ain't looking up Islam.
Wait, what?
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Johnny,
They way
Well,
hold on. They way
what I'm
stricter. Wait a
saying
minute.
is just add to it a little bit more. Just say, yes, obey your husband within like some boundaries. You know, like as long as it's fair and reasonable, not like some crazy ass shit. I think we got
That's the problem though, because
we just gotta add some stuff to it. That's it. We ain't gotta take the word obey out, but just give me some more context to it.
I think that's a slippery slope. Who determines what's fair?
It's personal.
You know what? Let me get some of these comments. I'm gonna circle back. I got one more we're gonna try to touch. Let's see. Kenyatta said maturity is also a factor. Let's see. The 20-year-old you should not be the 40-year-old you. No, that's facts. That's facts. That's facts. Some folks don't be growing up out here, Kenyatta. Let's see. Shantae said he better run. Oh. She said get up out of there.
So everybody always wants to, when they say Islam, all the religions, even Christianity, it's the way people read the Bible is they read it the way they want to hear it. So even like the Quran, just because women are, let's say women are silent, yes, but it's because of the interpretation. Whoever gave them that you know what I'm saying? It's like Christianity, the way the pastor interprets it. You get what I'm saying? We like, I'm talking over the place, but
no, I feel you.
You get what I'm saying? Like, yes, they're silent, but it doesn't mean that the way that whoever's preaching that to them is interpreting it well, I don't know if there's a wrong or right way when you interpret any type of religious Bible. You know what I'm saying?
So there is because that person most likely is lacking some discernment. So see, they're gonna put their own selfish wants on top of the wording. And see, that's where the issue comes, and that's why you have to, I'm gonna go ahead and go there since we're having this conversation. That's why you got to be careful with some of these pastors out here. See, a lot of stuff that's pushed in some of these churches is based around prosperity. So they're gonna tell you what you want to hear. They're gonna tickle them ears. They ain't gonna give you that real. They're not gonna tell you what that verse actually say and what it means. Yeah, that verse might actually say you done for if you keep doing what you're doing. But they're going to translate that into, if you don't get your act together, it might not go well. And see, that ain't what the verse said, though. So I understand what you're saying, but like I said, that's people laying their own selfish interpretation on top of the scriptures. And see, that's what ends up happening. So now I understand what you're saying, but if you actually have some discernment around what you are reading, then you're going to take it for what it is. And if we actually took it for what it is, then a lot of us wouldn't be out here moving like we moving. But I feel you, though. I feel you. I'm watching you, Johnny's. I'm watching you. Let's see. Donovan said, "Damn, she drew the line." LOL. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, Shantae said my man better run, but I don't know how that went out, how that ended up ending. Let's see. Donovan said terms and conditions. Yeah. See, Shantae said, let's see, if she don't know how to agree in public, and let's see, if she don't know how to agree in public and disagree in private. Yeah, you already know how that's gonna go down. Yeah, you already know how that's gonna go down. I'm gonna come to you in a minute, Vince. Let's see. Kenyatta said, "Oh, damn." Let's see. She couldn't say the word obey. This is what happens when folks write their own vows. Oh man, Shantae said she should have just said, "I'm gonna be submissive under certain conditions." You right there. You see right there, Shantae. That's the problem.
And he should have said, "I'm gonna give me the engagement ring back." I'm gonna
see. That's the problem right there. See, where do all this? This is why some of us out here messed up. This comment right here. Where do all this conditional stuff come from? So this is what I call blurring the lines. See, when you make it conditional, you can blur the lines in whatever direction you want to blur them in. Yeah, but that's how your roles get all jacked up. That's how you lose sight of what you actually supposed to be doing. That's how that happens. So we got to be careful with all that. Better yet, we got to do away with all this conditional stuff. Real talk. Let's see. Kenyatta said, yes, he is the leader. I don't know. Janice was bucking us a little bit on that, Kenyatta. She was bucking. Let's see. Donovan said, no woman wants to hear obey, but bark orders at their significant other. Oh. See, if he doesn't take heed, then he ain't ish. Yeah, Donovan, you spot on with that one, man. Ladies, y'all need to drop a comment. Why is that? So y'all want to bark orders at the fellas, but then yet y'all don't want no orders barked at y'all, or y'all don't want to obey? Like, make that make sense.
Because the conditions is as long as you're not telling me to do something that I don't want to do, and as long as you're not asking me, to do something I don't want to do, and as long as you're not telling me no to something that I want to do. Those are the conditions. And if you are doing any of those three things, then it's the no.
Don't work like that. Okay. Let's see. Shout out to my guy Kevin Palmer in the building. He says she already know how he gets down. Let's see. You about to marry him. Is he supposed to switch or will switch up? My relationship transition to marriage should be seamless, right? Yeah. No, I hear that, Kev. I said she tried to play it off at the altar, man. Even the pastor called her out. So I don't know. I'm really curious.
That pastor was like, we done talked about this, sis. We already talked about this in marriage counseling. Come on, you know the drill. Don't get out here and start acting fake.
Right. Let's see. Kenyatta said, what bothers me is women will listen to men at work, but not the man they are with. Oh.
That's it right there. Major. That's it.
I got questions. Let me go to my guy Vince. So Vince, this comment right here. So ladies will listen to men at work, but not the men they are with. What you think about that, Vince?
Well, first of all, let's go back to the brother. And he was laughing about it.
Right.
He thought it was funny. If that was my son and I had paid any of that wedding, I would want my refund right there.
You know it.
Because I wouldn't have found it funny. And the problem is we have demonized everything about manhood, especially in the Black community. We have made our men to be monsters.
Yeah.
Why didn't it work in the past? Oh, when granddaddy was cheating on grandma. That's the first thing. Oh, well, I got to save something for later because if he leave me, he going to leave me with nothing in these kids. We have male toxic masculinity. We have demonized Black men. And the issues are that you need to find somebody you can obey. And the problem is most of these women do that to a man they never should have done with it in the first place, and then they let that relationship tarnish the rest of their life.
Right.
Because if you go back to, I asked you about your first baby daddy. Oh, he wasn't this, he wasn't that. 90% of them. Oh, no, he ain't no good father. He a bum. He don't pay no child support. He don't do this, he don't do that. But you picked him. So my thing is, it's all about the picking. Why would you want to marry a man that you can't submit to and obey to? Why are you marrying him then? Why? Because you need somebody to go on vacation with? You need somebody to help you pay your rent, help you take care of the kids he didn't father? Why would you want to marry a man that you can't say you can obey? Because the thing behind that you should understand is, if I love this man, then I trust his judgment, and whatever he says, I'm going to trust it. But you automatically think he's going to ask me to do something I don't want to do. That's the automatic, submit, not, well, I'm going to tell you to go jump into the ocean and I know you can't swim. That's the type of obey you think I'm going to give you? I'm going to tell you to do something that's not good for you?
That's real.
That's the hurt that our men are having right now, especially the men that are about something, the men that are taking care of their kids, the men that want to be married. There's so many, obey. No, we got to, no, we don't have to change no vows. My thing is, don't do it. Don't get there. Don't live your life with your kids and your boyfriends and Netflix and chills, and it probably it would be happier that way for men too.
That's
my
real.
my wife don't have no problems saying. My wife, just like I ran into a lady at the car show. I was getting the car for my wife for our anniversary, and I'm a car guy. I like to read all the cars and pick the best one. So I'm at this lady. So she pulled up this scripture, and it was something about wheat, the weaker vessel. And she was like, "Well, don't have you." I said, "Oh, man, my wife don't get down like that. She understands what's going on. You know these trigger words: weak, submissive. Oh, weak don't mean." I said, "Well, you ain't got to explain the word to me. I know my wife know what the weaker vessel is, and the stronger vessel is. So we got to change this mindset. And the first thing we need to do, we need to teach our men their value. Because once a man has his value, he not going to accept this crap. He thinking it's funny until something happened, and then she don't want to cooperate.
Right. I agree
when
with
the
that.
decision need to be made, like, okay, babe, we can't afford this $300,000 house. We might have to get this $150 and work our way up. Because he understands, okay, we need to save, but she thinks, oh, we got this type of money and I can't afford it. And if you can't see, that's the problem. They don't want to be up under nobody's authority. And that's what's wrong with our kids. They don't want to be nobody. It used to be a time, and I don't cut it short. And church was a big thing when I was growing up. The deacon can tell you, boy, pull your pants up. Boy, take your hat off. Baby, pull your dress down. Baby, you need a slip on. But now, can't nobody say nothing to these kids. You can't say nothing to me. You ain't. Who are you to judge me? You ain't my mama. No, I'm a deacon. And I'm 50 years old, and I'm a man, and I know that you need to pull your goddamn pants up. Excuse me for cussing. But that's the problem with our kids. And these parents, well, why am I? Because you raised her. Because we raised her. Ain't no authority. Don't nobody want to be under nobody's authority. That's the problem. We need to. No, we don't need to change no vows. We need to work with what was been working for us as Black people. We want to change something different. We want to do all this, and now we got people killing kids out here. And I wanted to touch on this one. And if you give me a moment,
go ahead, man.
Ladies, stop bringing these fools around your kids. When I was growing up, I didn't see what my mama was doing. She took me over to my grandmother's house. She ain't had no guy from I don't know if y'all seen. All these situations is the same. He a felon. He done got a record. But then you bring this fool around your baby? And what he do? He kill her, kill the kids. Not his kids. He got enough sense not to kill his kids. Right. He killed her kids and her. We got to start getting in people's business. I'm tired of all this. But can't nobody judge nobody, and can't nobody do this. But then y'all on Facebook talk about a GoFundMe. Oh, we need to help the community. We need to tell these goddamn people the truth. Stop dating these fucking felons and these criminals. You got babies. And if you're going to do it somewhere else. Don't bring these fools around your babies. And these men, I tell my boys every day, if you can't see her being your wife, you probably don't need to have sex with her. Because it's your responsibility too, because where was the daddy? Where was the daddy to protect his kids? So we're going to put some on the men too. Men, if you don't want to be committed to these women, don't have no babies with them. Facts. Because then you take a chance of these knuckleheads being around your kids.
Yeah, facts. I agree.
I'm sorry to go off on that one, but I just had to say that.
No, it's all good, man. Like I said, that's what we do on the platform, man. Get it off your chest, man, and say what need to be said. Let me get some more of these comments. Let's see. Kevin Palmer said, just because the vows say you should, just because the vows say she should already know his heart. Yeah, no doubt. See, that supports the point that Vince was making. It's like, so if you get up here and you choking up when it's time to say obey your husband, then to Vince's point, why are you even marrying my man? Yeah, but see, that right there will validate for me that you marry my man for the wrong reasons. Because you already assuming that my man gonna lead you off a cliff with no direction. Yeah, but see, this is what we end up doing. That's why I said, are we truly vetting out here? Yeah, why are you even at the point of stuttering at your vows? You shouldn't even have the dress yet if you're going to be stuttering on the vows. Yeah, you done went through the counseling too just to get up there and get the stuttering. Come on now. Yeah, that don't even make sense. Let's see. Shantae said, can y'all the Myrics, let's see, will obey. Let's see. Will obey a homegirl, but not their man. No doubt. They definitely will. They definitely will. Let's see. Donovan said, at the end of the day, the program of marriage is what it is. Those who don't have it, those who don't have it but desire it, and and demand to have it, don't want to play by the rules without conforming. It may happen, but it ain't gonna last. That's real. That's real. Let's see. She said, you got to reword this because I don't understand, Mr. Smarty Pants. We understood what Donovan was saying. We understood him. Let's see. If they want the covering of a husband, you have a responsibility to uphold as the wife. Facts. Let's see. Women want to change the rules of engagement, and it ain't working.
So my question is for Donovan. So how long you been dating again?
Oh man. You know what? We ain't about to do. See, here she go. I see Janice over here.
I'm just saying, he preaching. I'm just asking.
I done lost track of my comments. Where am I at? Where am I? Hold on. Who was next? Kenyatta said, let's see, she shouldn't get married. So she's talking about the girl in the video. No doubt. Let's see. Kevin said, it's always should always be respect regardless of what the vows are talking about. No doubt. No doubt. And listen, we haven't challenged it around respect too, man. Listen, it's getting wild out here. Let's see. Shantae said, it wasn't funny and it was embarrassing for him.
I think their vows should have been talked about though. I mean, everybody's vows are not the same. Christianity, Catholic, Muslim, everybody got different vows. You can modify. The churches always modify. They alter. Some weddings they don't say obey. Some weddings they say the man and the woman. So it's just confusing that she didn't know what her vows was until she got.
But I agree with you. But the thing is why she didn't. Okay, so not that I agree that you should change the vows. I'm sorry.
There is no set vows. There is no set vows.
But there's default. There's default vows. There are. But if she wasn't okay with the default vows, which do include obey, then you're right. She should have done her due diligence to change them, but she didn't. So to then be in a public forum, now is not the time for you to now want to go back and forth about the vows, ma'am. Don't do that to him, and don't let that be a part of your moment. Like if you want to have it ain't like you can't have a conversation with your husband about this later. Why wait till you're standing there in front of everybody and decide to make a case out of it? Like, I'm sorry, but for me, that's raising all kinds of red flags about her, because in this moment, you couldn't even just let this particular moment pass and then y'all have a conversation about this later. Like, you really had to do it right then. And that's why I'm not even picking up off of the fact that she didn't like it. I'm actually more turned off by the way she handled it. Like, it's giving she's controlling. Because it's like you couldn't even allow this one moment to pass. This is like your wedding. This is his day too. And you just had to, in the middle of it, stop the press and then told the pastor to keep going. And he a good one. Because listen, man of God, you do not have to take orders from her. Man of God, okay? You have been ordained. So you could have said, we're not going to pass it. What say you? Because we're not, if you wanted me to not say this, we could have had that conversation, but we didn't. Instead, you set up and did counseling with me because we had to do it too. And they definitely talked to you about what's expected as a wife. They definitely have that conversation with you. So you capping, sis. Y'all did talk about the man's position, his authority, your position, and what your position is in the relationship and all of that. Y'all talked about that. But let me guess, it didn't matter what y'all talked about in counseling, because you still gonna do what you're gonna do, which is why you stood up there It had a whole moment in the middle of y'all ceremony. And so for me, I just feel like, and listen, I know I'm making a lot of assumptions, y'all. I can only make assumptions off the clip. But for me, this is almost like a preview of how conversations are going to go between the two of you guys later down the line.
But see, the problem was that she thinks she the prize, but she don't think he a catch. Ain't no way some woman gonna sit up here and tell me at the altar she ain't gonna obey. Okay, by the time I hit the door, I have somebody else. By the time I turn around and hit the door, I will have somebody else.
Because it's probably
all
a
your
couple
little friends, because all your little friends know I'm the catch. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. She don't know he a catch, because there ain't no way some woman gonna embarrass me like that. Because I would never embarrass her like that. She'll just be quiet and then talk about it later. I would have turned before I hit the door. And see, that's the problem with our young men. They don't believe that they the catch when they the catch.
That's real. That's real. That's real.
She thinks she the prize. She go tell the pastor what to do, because she probably miseducated and she thinks she cute, and her daddy done probably paid for the, and she just think he along for the ride. That's why he up there laughing, because he embarrassed.
That's real right there. That's real right there. Let me get some more of these comments then. I'm gonna flip it up real quick. Let's see. Donovan said, let's see, women only want to submit.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Oh man.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Oh man, let's see. Donovan say women only submit to the money. Oh.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. Hey, it helps.
Well, no, it definitely helped. It definitely helped.
It helps.
No, for sure. But the issue is when he say only. See, if they only submit to the money, that's the problem. But yeah, the money definitely helps the situation. So no, ain't nobody gonna sit up here and deny that. Let's see. Donovan also said women want to marry the money. Dang, Donovan. He just coming with it tonight. Let's see. Can you see, look like Shantae? Let's see. That's a broke woman. Let's see, or a woman looking for a come up. Because when I was dating, all mine had a couple dollars. And I got my own, so I can't submit because you pull out a stack. Okay. All right. Let's see. Donovan said they'll pass on the man. Let's see. Put him in the box in the closet, and only bring him out on special occasions for looks and showmanship. Just keep the money and access. Okay.
But then it's not just about the money. It's the thing that a man of value brings to a family's life that she can't live without. It's just not the dollar. It's the knowledge. It's the value that has changed her life and made her life better that she couldn't have got from nobody else.
Right.
See, that's what being the catch do. It ain't just about a dollar here and a dollar there. That's I'm gonna see how we get this money together, how we can build a life, how I can show as a leader of our family. You see what I'm saying? So it's just not about a dollar. It's about the value that a man that's the catch can bring to a woman.
Right.
And see, the issue is that it's just like, and I wish she would say it because I don't want to sound whatever, but when your woman feel like, I don't care, my life's still better with him. If I leave him, my life still wouldn't be as better because my life's still better with him. If I leave and get $5,000 in child support, my life is still better with him because he brings value, not only for money, but a lifestyle.
Right.
But a family. And see, that's the thing we need to teach our men is how to bring value, not just money, but money too, but how to bring value and bring leadership, a loving hand.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But see, that starts with a man understanding his worth. But see, if a man understands his worth, he's going to move and bring that value. So that's hand in hand. So now I totally understand what you're saying right there. Let's see. Kenyatta said, let's see, black women, please stop saying you are the most disrespected and least protected. Yeah, no, ladies, y'all got to fall back on that. Like I said, if y'all turning down the man's protection, y'all turning down the man's leadership, you do not want to follow the man's lead, then you definitely can't be talking about you unprotected.
Please stop.
That don't work. So no, that's definitely a valid point right there. Let's see. Kenyatta said 4 years. I don't know what she was saying.
The dating.
This was
when Johnny's
bad.
Where everybody put their head down like
this to Johnny's right here. Okay, 4 years. I was like, what is that? All right, 4 years. There you go, Johnny's. That's Donovan. He said 4 years too. Okay.
I wanted to piggyback on that though. So just dropping that down there like that, right? Like, you know, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing if you do date, maybe for a little longer than maybe some people might seem as necessary. I guess it depends on where you are in life too. You know, because we dated for 5 years, a little more than that before we were engaged. But I think it also was where we were in life. We both were in build mode. Like, I think it's your circumstances. But to go back to Donovan's point about vetting as well, like, I think sometimes it couldn't hurt for you to take a little bit. I'm not saying it has to be however many years, but for you to take a little bit more time to get to know that person, because maybe if you take a little bit more time to get to know that person, you won't be standing at the altar nervous to recite vows because you're not sure how that man or how that woman's going to actually execute. Maybe if you knew that man well enough to know, like I said, that he knows how to lead, that he is a compassionate person, that he is going to consider your feelings, and that he's not going to just tell you what to do just because, that he's not someone who's going to put you in a position where you feel subservient to him. If you already know this about that man, then you should be okay with submitting to him, because you know that he knows how to guard your heart. He knows how to take care of you. He knows how to protect you, that he has your best interest in mind when he makes decisions. But you should already know that before you get to the point of standing at the altar, holding his hand in front of the man of God. Like, you already know that, or you should. If you don't, and you got to question it at that point, there's either something wrong with him or something wrong with you. Because that should not be the case. Because he should have already showed you in your vetting that he was a man that you could depend on. He should have already showed you, husband. And ladies running around here talking about some, I shouldn't have to cook, I shouldn't have to clean, those are wifely duties. You should have already shown that man that you could be a wife prior to him putting a ring on your finger. There should be no, I'm not saying you're going to know every single thing you could possibly know about a person. It takes a lifetime to know that. But you should at least know if this is a man that you can trust, if this is a man that you could submit to, if this is a man that has your best interest in heart, if this is a man that you actually want to be with for the long haul, you want to go through life with. And if you haven't come to that conclusion yet, then you shouldn't be standing at the altar. And see, the problem, y'all haven't done that. You haven't. And for those of you who should and have had long enough with that person to know better, but you just don't want to change something about you, that's a whole nother problem. So, I mean, for me, I mean, it's just like, maybe part of the problem, the reason why y'all the reason why y'all have a problem with the vows, it's not the vows. There's nothing wrong with those vows. Because everything, listen, in the vows, the standard default vows that I've heard are basically what God expects from you for your marriage covenant to that man, because it's what God expects from us with our covenant to him. It's the same thing. So it's nothing wrong with those vows. It's nothing wrong with those vows. So if you got a problem with something in those vows, you probably should do some vetting of yourself and see why you're having a problem with those vows.
Okay, I hear that.
I want to say to a point that Chloe made that, and this is just a transparent moment for me. I think you know most of the things you need to know about a person in 6 months. And this is from a person who's been who was single for 20 some odd years, engaged 3 times. Out of those failed 3 engagements, I knew that person in 6 months. She had never, but I was, well, she's not gonna do that with me. That's the issue, especially when you're intentional. See, it's also about being intentional. If you want to be married, then you should already have yourself together to be a husband or a wife. So then it shouldn't take you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years to understand that you want to go down that road with that person. You really know what you need to know in the first 6 months. What the issues are that you don't want to address the issues that can move your relationship forward, or you know they're not going to change. You know how a man pays his bills if you're paying attention. You know how a woman, if you don't have kids, okay, but if she has kids, you know the type of mother she is within the first couple weeks. You know if she can clean the house, you know how she pay her bills, you know how relationship she is with her family, you know how she works, you know how a man works, you know how he treats his mother. And if you ain't met his mom in 6 months, then he don't have no intentions for you anyway. If you ain't met his kids and he ain't talking about his kids in the first 2 or 3 conversations, he don't have no intentions for you anyway. So you know, and most of the people that I've known that have been married a long time, I'm talking over 20 years. How long y'all date? A year? How long y'all date? 8 months? I very rarely we was dating for 10 years, then we got married. We was dating for 7 years and had 2 babies, then we got married and stayed married for 30 years. What happens is they do all that, and then they can't stay married a couple years because they think marriage is going to change something. And if you want to be married, you should date in your marriage. These are conversations that we've never had in our community. You know what I'm saying? We've never really talked about the real things of marriage. We live on this whole fantasy world, especially when we get older, when we got so much other things we need to talk about. We need to talk about these kids. We need to talk about, the way we pay our bills and things of that nature, and the thing, because you really know what you need to know. But what people usually do, they start making excuses. Oh, well, I ain't where I need to be at. Well, you don't need to date then. If you're not where you need to be at, then you don't need to date. Men, if you don't have your own house, you don't need to date. Men.
Yeah, but I want to say this though, Vince. I think the difference is this doesn't look the same in your 20s.
Right.
And I think that's the problem. See, because a lot of us played around. Let me just call it what it is. Because a lot of us played around in our 20s, now essentially, let me call it what it is. It's a rush to get married in our older age, or it's a rush through the process in our older age, because basically we jacked off our 20s.
Right.
See, in our 20s, that's when you was out here sleeping with everybody.
Right.
That's when you was out here getting high. That's when you was out here, bouncing from job to job. That's when you was out here playing around. That's when you was out here not being intentional. That's when you was out here wasting your time, worried about some Air Force Ones and some Jordans. See, we was doing that in our 20s. But see, that's when we should have been focusing on what's important in our 20s. And see, that's why in your 20s, it was not a problem to date somebody for a few years, because essentially y'all was going through a growing, building process together. You were seeing each other in the ups. You were seeing each other in the downs. You were seeing each other when somebody got laid off. You were seeing each other, with their families, because parents were still alive, uncles were still alive. So you was getting a chance to see somebody live in real time. But see, now, because we jacked off our 20s and now we in our 40s and our 50s, now we want that process to look a lot faster, because, Vince, we didn't have these conversations on the show. Don't nobody want to build together no more. We want everybody to come ready-made. The fellas want the ladies to be ready-made. The ladies want the fellas to be ready-made, and they just want to mesh together and just think it's going to work. And see, to be honest, that's not even how that go. Because see, what ends up happening is in your later age, is you've had plenty of time to get stuck on your BS. So now you want me to take my BS that I'm comfortable with. You want me to blend it with your BS that you're comfortable with, and somehow we supposed to compromise. And we know how that go. In older age, nobody want to compromise. Yeah, I got this career over here. I got this money. I got my own car. I got my own crib. No, we ain't moving into your house. I got my own house. So now you got to go through all that nonsense. Unless, like you said before, Vince, unless the man and the woman is ready to get off that BS. Only at that point is when you'll see a marriage in older age be successful and be long-term. Yep, and that's the hardest part, is to get both parties to get off their BS, because at the end of the day, in older age, you at your highest level of selfishness. You also at your highest level of trauma. You at your highest level of income. Yep, so now somebody got to want to basically compromise in them spaces. Yep, and like they say all the time, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's true. Unless you ready to get up off that BS. Go ahead, Johnny. You want to say something?
I was going to say something, Donovan. They can date for 20, 30 years. It's on them, right? But if we, all this marriage talk we've had about a husband being a protection, you give her that protection when you marry her. You know, that's a protection. If something happened to you, she's taken care of. If something happens to you, them kids is taken care of. If something happened to you now, I mean, you can set up money and wills and all that. You know, you can do all that, trust funds and all that. I get it, you know. But for me, I just personally, nothing against whoever one day forever. I just couldn't. I want to be protected by my husband. You know, that's just my train of thought behind it. A boyfriend, I don't even know if it's a real thing.
I got you. So let me go ahead and put you on the spot, Johnny, since you said it. So you saying that you want to be protected by your husband. So in order to get that full protection of your husband, are you willing to obey?
We will both obey each other as he is the leader of the house.
Okay. All right. I like how you were slick with that. I like how you were slick with that. Oh man, let me I'm gonna slide us into this last one, then we're gonna get up out of here. Last one. I just got to put this up. Yeah, then we got to get the heck up out of here. This is the last one right here. Last one. Let me do this real quick. Then we're gonna get up out of here.
Give me my body count is the quickest way to talk yourself off some coochie. Because I absolutely am not giving it to you after you ask it. And this weird obsession with having a low number doesn't make sense to me. Because like I said before, at the end of the day, do you want a surgeon who's only done one surgery? Nope. No, you don't. You want a surgeon with experience. Yes or no? So when you ask these women what's their body count, you're looking for someone who has a low one, and then all you're going to do is run back and tell your homies about how she can't suck dick, how she can't arch her back, how she can't do X, Y, and Z. Why? When you can have a woman who knows what she's doing is going to be able to please you. So can we stop this whole weird obsession with the low body count? It's not real. It's not sustainable. You don't really want that.
Well,
no.
We're
going to tell the truth because we talked about
well, not for nothing. It's not. Listen, I'm going to say this. I said this once before. I'm going to say this again. It's your fault.
What do we do?
Y'all lied about y'all numbers and made us think it was real.
I've never lied about.
Well, I'm just saying, if women did not lie about their number, and whatever number is y'all real average, it would be more acceptable for us. But when we heard 3, when we heard 3 all our life, when you say 7, it's a little shocking.
All right, last one. I just had to. Man, what has happened to us? So. This video has circulated a few times. It crossed my timeline a few times. And the young lady is talking about body count. And I said, I know this conversation has come before, but she's talking about body count and dudes asking about these body counts and being concerned about these body counts and all of this stuff. I don't know. What y'all think about what she's saying? I got a problem with what she said. I got to go to y'all real quick. I don't know, Janice. Go ahead, Janice. What you think about what she said?
I don't. That question right there. I'm not even gonna deal with a man asking me that question personally. I just don't. At this age, don't ask me that question. Like, why are you asking me that? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, that's how I feel. I did it one time when I was younger, and I learned my lesson really quickly in my 20s. Men don't really want to know that answer, so don't ask me that question. Now, if we get married and maybe we get deeper and we in love and we want to have some deep conversation about our past, but while we dating, don't ask me that question.
Okay. All right. Let me go down here to Vince. Vince, what you think about that video, man?
Well, I didn't like the way that she portrayed it. It seemed a little Tatianish to me.
Go ahead, man.
She didn't have a ring, and she didn't have a ring on her finger. So,
nope.
You know, and the example about the surgery was not relevant. But I do think everybody got a pass. We 40-something years old. I mean, and you got a kid, then obviously you've been having sex with somebody. I mean, so to me, that's like a sucker move to me. I don't like them sucker type dudes. Well, I want a woman with a low body count because you can't have too much experience, because then I might feel like I might not come up to par, because that's where it come from. Because you feel like you can't come up to par. Right. I don't care how many you've been with, I'm still gonna be the best. And I'm gonna be the last. So I don't care what it is. Just like with my wife. My wife, no, she the best. She the last. She got the ring.
Oh my God.
She got the money. So all the other don't even matter. So sometimes these guys do take this red pill stuff, and they be some suckers. You know what I'm saying? They want to take it the wrong way. You know what I mean? Why would you even ask a grown ass woman how many men you been with? You should ask him how many men you been with.
Ooh.
I agree with Vince.
Wait. What? You say you agree with Vince?
That was a good
one. I think that's a sucker ass question, especially. I mean, it's just like what? Like, why are you asking that at this age? Don't ask that question. Like, just what?
Okay, I feel that. Let me get some. You want to say something, Chloe? Let me get some of these comments. Go ahead.
I got a question. Why do you think so? I understand that the men on the panel may feel a different way. Maybe the men in the comments might feel a different way. But if the men could answer this question, why does that matter? Okay, forget red pill, forget YouTube talking points. Realistically, to the men watching and to the men on the panel, does this matter? And if it does matter, why? Because it does come up a lot. It does come up a lot.
So, it matters to a certain point. Like if you've been superhead out here, that matters. You know who superhead is, don't you, Chloe?
Mm-hmm.
Now that's different. Or if I go to a party and 5 guys at the party you done been with, then yeah, that matters. But if you're 40-something years old, you've been with 10 men. I mean, you started having sex when you was 18. That's a long time. I mean, but I think that questions like that, it's like men have ego. To me, it don't even matter how many you've been with, because I'm gonna be the best. So it don't even matter. That's just how I get down.
I ain't mad
so
at
a lot
you.
of these guys feel they might not come up to par. That's what it is. And the guys don't want to admit that, but that's what it is. Now, if you've been with it used to be, I went to college. It was certain chicks on campus slept with everybody. But there's certain chicks that slept with maybe a Kappa, maybe one other guy and one other guy. But there's some chicks that slept with the whole Kappa line, the whole Q line. Then yeah, that matters. But we just talk about people average sexual appetites.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Let me read this comment. Let's see. Shante said, men want to know if you're loose to see if you will be easily impressed. Will you slide your number while he's in the bathroom? That's real right there. But I want to say this, because I said this was my issue with that video. And I said that I don't forgot where that video came from, but shout out to however I got that video. Yeah, but Listening to old girl, this is really where I was at with it. So Eva Wright dropped this comment. She said that was her way to justify it. And that was my problem with the video. Yeah, you can't sit here and say or use a surgeon as a comparison to how much sex you've been having as a woman.
How many dudes you let bust it down?
Yeah, like we ain't about to do that.
Come on, y'all.
Yeah, if I'm about to have brain surgery, do I want to know that the surgeon is experienced in brain surgeries? Yes, I do. But you sitting here trying to justify that you've been out here doing what you've been doing, and now that somehow that made you an expert, I feel like that's reckless. Because my problem with that is a lot of young folks watch this content. A lot of young folks stay on social media. A lot of young folks see this YouTube stuff and so forth. And it's like saying something like that, that's reckless. Yeah, we're not condoning no young females, and for that matter, no young males out here just being reckless. Yeah, because we got stats to back up the fact that if I know there's stats around if young ladies have had too many partners, that it damages those young ladies when it comes to their relationships with other men. So we're not about to sit here trying to use a surgeon as a comparison so you can try to justify how many cats that you've been out here doing your thing with. Yeah, that's irresponsible. Yep, and I'm like, that's partially why we in the issue that we in today. Part of our issue, and I'm gonna call it what it is, we have gotten so freaking reckless when it comes to this sex. Yeah, we done got real reckless, call it what it is, when it comes to these babies we out here having. Yeah, it's like we used to hold this stuff in high regard. Yeah, I remember back in the day, fellas used to be trying to wrap it up so they wasn't mistakenly having no babies out here. Now it's like everybody just raw. Then I got a young lady on this show right now sitting here trying to justify doing whatever you're doing. And what you're doing might not be right. Yeah, so I think we got to be careful doing stuff like that. Like I said, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these young folks that's coming behind us, and like I said, Vince says this all the time. We got to think about the young folks coming behind us. We got to set a different example. Yeah, you may have moved like that in your day, and that's your day. It is what it is. I'm sure we all done some stuff out here in our day. But they say when you know better, you do better. Yep, so if you know some of the repercussions and the outcomes that come from being out here wilding, being out here unprotected, being out here doing whatever you're doing, if we know some of them outcomes, because we see it, if we know some of them outcomes, we got to communicate something different to the folks coming behind us. Yep, and to Eva Wright's point, that lady looked young. Yeah, she looked young. So yeah, we got to check some of that. That was really my main beef with that young lady in that video. And let me say this as well. For all of the young ladies out here who watch, who may see this show or see this replay or whatever you may end up seeing, it ain't nothing wrong with you being selective with who you out here messing with. Yeah, I know we in 2023 and everything is just YOLO now. But if you're a young lady out here, if you're a young man out here who is being selective and everybody can't get you and everybody don't get the privilege to get with you and lay up with you on all of this stuff because you got some standards around what you're doing and that's how you moving and you ain't wavering from your standards, shout out to you. Yeah, don't let some of these videos have you feeling some type of way or feeling like you ain't moving right, because you're moving right. Because at the end of the day, you don't ever want to give nobody else, especially somebody who ain't serious, you never want to give them the type of power to be able to change your life off some nonsense like some sex. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with it. I just had to say that real quick. I just wanted to say that real quick. Go ahead, Chloe. You want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, so body count does matter. And if it didn't matter, we wouldn't feel this way about it. If it didn't matter, people wouldn't be offended by somebody asking. If it didn't matter. But the truth is, this is the part that we don't want to admit.
Right.
And this is not directed at anybody. This is just in general, because, you know, for me, 2023 is just say that. It's the year, just say that. Just say you wish you would have done it differently. Just say you wish you wouldn't have been loose. Just say you wish you would have been more intentional earlier. Just say that. Don't say that it's the problem with somebody caring about your body count. It's not. Because if somebody has walked around with a certain standard for themselves and they've been very careful about who they've been with, who they've been spending time with, and they've always been very particular about, you know, their morals and their standards, they don't want to get wrapped up with somebody that's just been a hoe. Let's call a thing a thing. If I preserve myself, then I don't want to be with a hoe. Let's just call a thing a thing. Yeah, I care. Because see, I have a certain standard for myself. And so I want a man who also has a certain standard for himself. Because I'm over here clean. You carrying a bunch of bodies. I don't want all them bodies and all them soul ties you done wrapped yourself up with. I don't want that. I'm good. And I get to choose that for myself. So yeah, if I want to ask the question, it matters. It does. Because the truth of the matter is, we once never supposed to be out here swapping all these fluids around with everybody anyway. It wasn't even supposed to be that way. So the reason why people get offended is because it does matter. See, you were supposed to enjoy sex and explore sex and learn sex with your partner. One. Not with anybody and everybody. It wasn't about being an expert. It was about learning that person. That was the point. You learned that person and that person learned you. So it didn't matter. It don't matter if you know how to get Roxanne off. Because I'm not Roxanne. I'm not her. So what worked for her might not even work for me. So it's about you learning me and me learning you. What you did with the other person might not even matter when it comes to me. So that's a moot point. And it's a weak justification. Yes, it does matter. Because at the end of the day, just like Vince used that superhead analogy, it matters. Because if somebody know you've been out there like that, they got a problem with it. Don't nobody want to know you've been out there like that. And really, we don't want you out there like that. So it's like, let's just be honest. I'm at the point where I'm like, it's okay for you to say, I did this, I did that, but you know, I learned from it. That's cool. That's life. But we're not going to sit up and act like that just because that's the way you did it, that was the right way to do it.
Right.
You're not going to do that. Because what we need to be teaching the generations after us is, hey, I did this, I did that, but let me tell you, that wasn't the way. If you out here doing it, this is how you really should do it. Because I want you to avoid the mistakes I made. I don't want you to make the same ones. That's the conversation we need to be having. So instead of shaming folks for asking about body count, shame folks for not caring. Let's get back to shaming people into good behavior. Instead of shaming people when they question bad behavior. That's what we do. We shame the people that question the bad behavior instead of shaming the bad behavior. We'll turn around and say stuff like, well, maybe I wouldn't do it that way, but to each his own. It's like, if you wouldn't do it that way, it's because you know there's something not quite right about it. That's why you won't do it. But then you won't call that person out about it and tell them, hey, that's not the way to do that. Like, I don't understand that. Like, we don't want to call nobody out on their stuff anymore. We'd rather sit back and do shows like this, or sit back and talk about them behind their back instead of saying, don't do that. Just don't do it. Like, I'm your friend. I care about you. I don't think you should do that. I mean, and I'm just at the point, where like, yeah, I'll land, man. But I'm just saying, we really out here, the stuff we're condoning, like the stuff we're calling okay, like the stuff we're calling lame, we completely upside down.
Okay.
I want to say something. But I think sometimes it's men.
You up next, Johnny.
Men like to ask those questions to put you in a box, which means what I'm saying is that if we both 40 years old and you want a woman that's got a body count of less than 5, then you need to go find a 20-year-old in the church. If you met me at duos and we was both dancing, but you gonna ask me my body count. See, sometimes people ask certain stuff, not just, it's to put you in the box, because he can have as many people as he wants, but he won't somebody will look, which is fine if that's what you want. But my thing is, don't ask me. It just, to me, it was just weak as a man. We're not 22. I'm 50 years old. What do I look like asking a 45-year-old woman her body count, and she got 2 kids? If I don't want nobody with a body count, then I'm not gonna date nobody with 2 kids. See, something don't need to be asked though. You know what it is when you first meet somebody. You know what it is. Come on now, if you met Quay at church and y'all done been in choir rehearsal y'all life, and you know he had 2 girlfriends, you know his body count. No, he know your body count. He ain't gotta ask you what's your body count. Y'all done been together in church for 20 years. He know your family. He know this. You know what I'm saying? So some things people just ask. I don't know if you watched this episode of it was one of them dating episodes, and a guy got on there and he said that, which I don't know if he knew or not, that he didn't want to date a baby mama.
Yeah, I saw that.
And my thing is, well, didn't you kind of, and maybe he didn't know that before he dated her, but if you know she has a child, then why go on a date with her if that's not what you want? Why you gonna go on a date with her and then tell her, I don't want to date no baby mama? Well, why you go on a date with me then? You knew I had a child. You know what I'm saying? That's like, some people ask this certain stuff to flex.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
no, that's real.
I mean, I get your point, Chloe, but as a man, it's just, I don't know, it's just weak to me to ask, well, what's your body count? Because I feel like, because men, I know men, because I am a man, I got friends. A lot of that stuff be ego. A lot of that stuff, well, you got a high body count, then maybe I can't perform because you've been experienced and I need something. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that be that though, Chloe, for men.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, there's like I said, there's definitely some ego wrapped up in there. But I think the other thing is we got to consider, and I'm coming to you, Janice. I think the other thing is we got to consider that body count actually reveals and talks about more than just sex.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it'll feel like to me, because I guess if you have looked at my body count, I ain't stand a chance. But I'm gonna be honest, it's some women that I could probably walk right down the street, would walk past me, I'd have had sex with, and I probably wouldn't even remember it.
No, I feel that.
I feel 100.
I feel that. Let me go to Janice. I know she wanted to say something, then we get ready to get out of here. Go ahead, Janice.
I think I just said I agree with Vince. I think even body counts don't ask me that question. I think sex is personal anyway. It's personal. It's a personal experience. It's not about me embarrassed. It's none of your business about a lot of my personal experiences in life. And that's just how I feel. Now, maybe once, like I said, we're married and maybe I'm comfortable, but I don't think at this age, don't ask that question. Like Vince said, go get you a little, maybe you want a high schooler that's a virgin or something. Go find one of them. I don't even know what defines a woman as a hoe. I don't know how many people you got to have with. When it comes to slippery slope, like, oh, you don't have sex with 2 people. I don't know if I can date you. You don't have sex with 2 people. And it's not about that. It's a slippery slope when it comes to that. Now we're going to justify the number based off, like Vince. He said he had a lot. It doesn't make a difference how many he had. When he made that choice to change his mindset, he did it. And that's just what it is sometimes. So I just think at this age, don't ask me that question. You ask me that question, I'm probably not even going to date you, because that means your ego and you got a big insecurity within you. That's just my personal experience with it. You know, women or men that do have sex with a lot of people, I'm not going to demonize having sex as a bad thing. Like, I'm not going to demonize sex. Okay. It's not a bad thing. We're human beings. We're sexual beings, right? So I think I'm not saying be out here having sex with a whole bunch of people, but I'm not going to make it seem like you're a bad person because you're out here having sex. It doesn't make you a bad person. I mean, there is no such thing. Everybody bad and good anyway, to me personally. We all got some bad. We all got some good in us. That's just what it is. But I'm not going to come out here and act like, oh, you had sex with 10 people. You a bad person. No.
Yeah, I don't think it's a question of who's good and who's bad. And right, everybody obviously has their perspective. I don't think it's a question of who's good and bad. I don't think you having sex automatically makes you a bad person. Like, I definitely don't think that's the standard. And sex is absolutely a natural thing and it's meant to be enjoyed. I just think we've gotten to a point where we've allowed it to become so common though. That's the point I guess that's the mindset that I'm speaking to. Like, we've gotten to the point where we've allowed sex to become so common now that it's almost like, oh, it don't really matter. And the truth is, it should. It should matter who you're with. It should matter who you give yourself to, because sex is also a spiritual thing. It's a physical thing, but it's a spiritual thing too. And as women, we are receivers. In every sense of the word, we are receivers. We receive these men into our body. So we don't just receive a man into our body and then he just goes and floats away and that's the end of it, right? Like, that's just not the way it works. There was a spiritual connection that happens there. And that doesn't just like float off and go away, right? And I guess for me, I think that if we understood the intimacy, the level of intimacy in sex and how serious it is, maybe we wouldn't be so casual with it. Some of us just had partners because we dated multiple people, right? Okay, and we had relationships and they didn't work out. But some of us, if we're honest, are just out here being completely reckless. We don't care who we sleeping with. We don't care how many people we sleeping with. We're just reckless. We don't care. And this is the mindset that I'm speaking to. It does matter. It actually does. And it's totally okay for a person to set a standard for themselves. Now, if you're just trying to be, just be all about ego and prideful with it, then I guess you go handle all of that. You go deal with that. But if you're asking because you're somebody who has carried yourself a certain way and you want to know who you getting into it with, I think it's valid, right? Because whoever you have sex with, you're having sex with the people they had sex with too. I know we don't want to think about that, but that's true. So it's totally reasonable for a person to want to know if you were someone who was a little bit more careful, or if you was just out here and it was like free for all. I think it's reasonable for a person to want to know that. Now, listen, people, like I said, that's just my personal perspective. People can feel however they want to feel about it. But if you're someone who has carried yourself a certain way, it don't matter if you're 30, if you're 20, 25, 30, because I'm just not of the mindset that says because I'm 40 means I got to have a line of bodies behind me. That's just not my mindset. But that's not a judgment against anybody else. That's just how I personally feel. So I think it's okay for people to feel the way they feel and not be a judgment against you because they feel a certain type of way. Like, that's not what it is. But now when you say stuff and you say, well, I stand on certain morals, I stand on certain principles, that people want to go, well, you're making it sound like, no, I'm not making it sound like anything. Take my word for what my word is. I'm saying, if you are a person who set a certain standard for yourself, then it's okay for you to look for a person that has also set a certain standard for themselves too. That's okay. Now, if you're a person that don't care, then hey, do you?
But Chloe, I think
if I do care, it don't mean that I'm saying something about you because I care. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's not how it works.
But I think
we got that.
I just want one last thing. I think the issue is that when you meet somebody and you have a conversation with them, you can figure that out without actually asking somebody. That's what I think. That's what me and Janice get into. When you meet somebody and have a conversation with them, they will portray what you want. You'll know how they got down pretty much if you paying attention. I can tell a chick that's been in the church all her life and ain't really did nothing from a chick who maybe went to college or who you know this in the conversation. It's like asking somebody how much money you make. You know by your conversation how much money you make because the conversation is different. When you got real money, your conversation is different. You know what I'm saying? If you have a conversation with somebody, you can say, okay, he know what's going on because he's talking about stocks. He's talking about bonds. He's talking about your whole conversation is different. So the body count thing, you'll know because the conversation, the way they live their life, their life will say it. Especially if you're 40. Okay, if you're 40, you got a couple of years, your life say, okay, you had at least two people. If I meet you and you got two kids, like two different guys, it'll at least be two people. So how many it's got to be? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I mean, to me, it's just men. I don't know. It just seems like it's a question don't need to be asked if you're paying attention. And that's what I think. When you pay attention to what people are saying, you can get a lot. Then having to ask them. That's like asking somebody how much money you make. You'll know how much money they make if you just pay attention. You'll know where they live. You'll know the kind of car they drive. You know if they bringing out, okay, if you got a bill. The one thing, ladies, I'm going to tell you this. You know a man who got a little piece of paper? A man don't usually carry a lot of money. If you go to a restaurant and the bill is over $250 and he pull out cash, he ain't got no money.
I have to
Agree.
real money.
Agree.
He gonna pull out a card.
Oh, wait. Hold up.
That's not true. Definitely
why.
not true.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because
Nope.
men got real money don't carry that much cash.
No,
They
sir.
don't.
Carry that
They
much
don't.
cash.
No,
Want to have
sir.
cash in it. They'll go
Hey,
pull out
hey,
a debit
my little
card.
No, sir.
listen. I had a little thug. He had cash all the time. You know why? Because that was his fire stick cash.
No.
So okay, hold up.
I'm
So
talking
let me.
I'm talking about over 250. I'm not talking about
No,
red
sir.
lobster deal.
Hold up.
No,
I'm talking about,
sir.
Okay. So hold
he
on.
gonna
Let
pull out
me.
$400.
I agree with Vince.
He gonna pull out $400.
Hold on. So let me.
I'm gonna let Quay
let
Price
me-
go ahead and answer this question.
Let me put that to bed real fast, Vince.
Real
So,
fast.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that, Vince. The reason I'm gonna disagree with you is because I'm a cash man. So I got plenty of money.
Okay.
But I move in cash. I don't typically move in credit.
I didn't say credit.
No, what I'm
credit and a debit card. I'm
No,
not talking about a credit card.
Yeah, no, but I understand what you're saying. But no,
Okay.
I am the guy. That's why I'm saying that's not true. I am the guy who will go to the restaurant and the bill is $400. I'm gonna put up $400.
And he's been doing that the entire time I have known him.
And the reason I'm gonna tell
time I have known him.
Everybody is a unicorn. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because most people ain't gonna carry that much cash because they feel like, depends on how you move.
Yeah. But I'm gonna give you the context to that, right? So one of the reasons why I do that is something that my grandfather told me a long time ago. Yep, and he was not a big guy into credit cards, right? So everything that he did, he was a hardworking man, had 6 kids.
I'm not talking credit cards. I'm talking debt.
I know. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. Yeah, no, I'm just telling you. But yeah, the reason why he told me that was he was not a big guy into credit cards, right? So he didn't believe in credit. So everything he did was cash. So his mindset was if you can't pay for it in cash, it's a good chance that you don't need it. Yeah, but that was something that he taught all of his grandkids, right? So I never let that go, even though I understand credit and I move a lot different now. But when it comes to certain things, I still move with cash, right? So I am that guy who goes against what you just said. So I will drop $400 if the bill is $400. I will drop that in 20s, or I will drop that in 50s. So that's the only reason I'm disagreeing with you. So with a lot of other fellas, though, you're right. But just for me personally, I go against exactly what you're saying.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you stop at the ATM before you go, or you just carry that type of money around?
No, I'm always ready.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll stop at no ATM.
Moving places you ain't worried then, huh?
Yeah. No, I'm always ready. Well, we from Detroit though, Vince. We got things for that though. That's just like that was something that my grandfather put us on to, man. Let's see. Kenyatta said cash circulate, debit and credit does not. This is what Donovan taught me. Okay. See, y'all about to have us on here all night. We about to get into a money conversation. We about
Let's
to
not.
Let's
I
see.
don't, know if you
Kiana
wanna
said,
get, I don't know if you want to get in a money conversation.
Let's
with me.
not.
I'm just gonna tell you the truth. I don't want to get no money conversation with me.
let's see. Kiana said, I don't agree. Yeah, no. No, I was gonna buck back against that one. I was gonna buck back because I am that guy. Let's see. Shantae said, I agree, Vince. Okay, yeah, no, but I agree as well. I said there's some dudes out here. Like I said, if they moving, and to Vince's point, if some dudes is moving a certain way, you can tell certain things about that guy. And that same thing goes to females. A certain females, you don't always have to ask the direct question. But if you pay attention to how people moving and how they living, a lot of times you can get your questions answered. So now I definitely agree with that. All right, we got to get the heck up out of here. Let me take any closing statements, and we got to get out of here. Chloe, Janice, Vince, y'all want to say anything in closing before we get out of here? I go to Janice first, Vince second, Chloe third. Go ahead, Janice.
What is the PVC tube in the yard by the tree?
I was gonna ask, but
What does that mean? I'm so confused.
I was gonna be like that.
I done read it 6 times. What?
Unless that's the money storage. I don't know. Might be the money storage. I don't know.
Look, Vince had to take his glasses down to try
to. You got to clarify what that is.
You too elevated for us.
Well, you know, he said old school moving. So I know a lot of cats back in the days drop a little money. They used to bury a little something outside in the yard.
He said, if you know, you know.
Yeah, so he might be talking about that. It's the same concept as putting a little something up under the mattress. So I understand what he's saying. Shout out to Remy in the building as well. She said needed to get on to see what Vince was yelling about. He ain't yelling too bad. Remy. He ain't yelling too bad. Let's see. Shantae said that drink must have been strong. Yeah, no, Donovan. I understand what you're saying now that I just processed. Yeah, shout out to that crown. I understand what you're saying, Donovan. Yeah, you got to put a little something out in the, that little stash. So I know all about it. All right, let me go to Janice. I'm going to go to Vince, then Chloe, then we're going to get out of here. Janice, what you want to say in closing?
In closing, I don't have anything to say in closing. But as far as, like, the body count, I'm going to stick to it. At this age, don't ask me. Don't ask me that question. Right then and there, it's a turn off for me. That's just me personally. If you want somebody that's a virgin, ask me, am I a virgin? How about that? Are you a virgin?
Wait.
I'm probably better with that question. Hey, are you a virgin? I'm going to say no. And then there we go. We done. But don't ask me body count. If you're looking for a virgin, ask me, am I a virgin?
Okay. All right.
I'll answer that question.
We hear that. So now, real quick before I go to Vince, I'm going to ask you this real fast. Earlier, you said that you and that man could get married, and then y'all may want to get a little deep and have that conversation. I don't know if you remember when you said that earlier around this body count stuff. Which way would you rather prefer? If that question came up before y'all got married or after?
I would prefer, to be honest, never to come up. I think it's just a ridiculous question, personally. At this age, I just think it's ridiculous. You can tell, like, you listen when you talk about who you used to date, you can add up when it becomes Bobby, Terry, James, Tyrone. I mean, count them. If it was Trey in Dearborn, Terry in Southfield, like, just start counting. I do it. I listen to men when they speak about their girlfriends, and I listen to the names and I count them. You ain't got to tell me. I can count them when you're speaking and tell me about your history. Just in general conversation, you can count on your
No.
Okay. All right. I was gonna try it. All right, Vince, you want to say anything before we get out of here, man?
Well, for the videos we've seen today in regards to the obey, I just think we all have to. It all goes down to picking better. If you can't pick a man that you can be submissive to, that you can cooperate with, and I'm gonna say submissive. I'm not gonna change the word. I'm not gonna submissive. It's obey. It's cooperate. That's what it is. And if you can't do that, then don't marry him. Don't marry her. If she can't cooperate, don't marry her. If she don't want to be up under your leadership and she don't think you smart enough to lead your family and to do things the right way, don't marry her. Don't marry him. And then you won't have all these problems. You know what I'm saying? And then the body count thing, I just think it's a goofy question at our age. Figure it out. If you're that smart to ask, you're that smart to figure it out. I think we all just need to be more intentional. We need to know ourselves first. And as I always say, we got kids watching us. I'm gonna say once again, ladies, be aware of who you are bringing around your children. And I'm gonna say, yes, judge him. I'm sorry if he got a felony. He did the violence. You can't be around my kids. You got to judge. Everybody judges people. I have to judge people. I have a business. I can't hire people that are felons. I can't be a felon and have the business that I have. So yes, I'm being judged. If I would have did it 20 years ago, I couldn't do my business right now because I was a felon. So yes, you have to judge to keep our kids safe. We got to keep our kids safe. All the same situations. The ex-boyfriend can't handle his feelings. He a felon. And then also for those of us who are a little older in age, the aunties and the uncles, get into your nieces and nephews' business. That's what older people used to do for us. Hey, I don't like that young man. Have you checked his background? I don't really care for that young girl. She just seemed like a little. Get in their business. Shit, what difference do it make? They ain't your goddamn friend. My niece, that's my nephew. I don't care if you like me. Trying to put you up on game.
That's real. That's
Love
real.
y'all.
That's real. That's real. That's real right there. Chloe, you want to say anything before we get out of here?
I mean, just unpopular opinion. Like, hashtag bring shame back. Like, I don't know why. Let's normalize calling people out on their crap. Like, I'm not with this. I'm not with this. You goofy because you asking questions. You goofy because you think different. See, we have to remember we've already made our mistakes, whatever mistakes we're going to make. So when we're having these conversations, let's at least have these conversations genuinely and authentically because the people coming behind us can learn something from them. So yeah, ask about body count because yeah, we might be in our 40s, but the people we talking to might be in their 20s at a point where they can still be intentional about who they choose to sleep with. They still got time to make better choices. So no, we should be telling them, yeah, you should ask. Hashtag bring the shame back. Because when people cared more about how they carried themselves, they made better decisions. Like, it's okay, like, for you to ask somebody because it causes people to think about the decisions that they make. It causes them to think about the things that they do. Right, like, and we want young people to spend more time actually thinking through their decisions before they make them. We want young people to think about the consequences of their decisions before they make them. We want to have this conversation. So yeah, like, bring shame back. Come on, let's go. Like, I'm with it. I'm with it. So I mean, for me, that's my takeaway. If I could say anything tonight, I would say bring the shame back. Ask the questions because we're not just talking to our generation, right? We're talking to the ones that have to come after us. At this point, we're the, you know what I'm saying? At this point, we're the OGs, right? That's us. We're the aunties. We're the unks. That's us. So yeah, it's okay it's okay, young man, if you want to go out there and ask her about her body count because you care about who you're sleeping with. And sis, it's okay for you to set a high standard for yourself. It's okay. It's okay for you to make him wait. It's okay. You should do that. So that, yeah, I'm with it. Let's do that. Let's do something different because clearly what we've been doing ain't working. That's all
Right.
I'm.
Okay, that's real right there. That's real right there. Let me get this comment. Let's see. Eva Rice said, and there is nothing wrong for asking them to get STD test before you get in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's two different. That's
different than
two different
body
things.
count. That's different than body count.
That's two different things. You should. Some people, while they married, need to do it too.
I should keep my results on that.
Let's see. She said people will do what they do, but protect themselves. Okay. All right. Shout out to Eva Wright sliding that one in at the end. Let's see. Shantae said, Remy, let's see. No ice. Just put the kids to sleep. Man, Vince, they done heard you over here making this drink, man.
Hey, I told Shantae it's my anniversary.
Oh my God!
All right, y'all. Baby number 3.
Oh no. The store is closed. The store is closed.
Why he put the drink down?
The store is closed, baby.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Oh man, Remy say he's celebrating. Yeah, they said they heard you pointed up, man. Well, let me just say this real quick, listen, and we'll get up out of here, man. Let's say shout out to my panel. Yeah, shout out to Vince, shout out to Janice, shout out to Chloe, let's say coming on here representing every Wednesday. Yeah, Shantae, you know, I try to keep the sound game together. I try to keep it together. We got to keep the show exciting. But yeah, shout out to y'all. I said, shout out to y'all coming on here being transparent and you know, making these conversations what they are. Like I said, we here to talk about these things so we can move us forward. Yeah, as y'all see from the show, we all different. We all got different perspectives. We all different ages. You know, like I said, some cats carry the cash, some don't. We all different on this panel. But that's what makes for great conversation. That's why y'all are getting a rounded view of how this thing needs to play out or how it can play out. So like I said, definitely take advantage of the show and the content that comes out on this show. You're not going to get a show realer than this. Yeah, this ain't no scripted show. This is a transparent show. Like I said, Vince has laid it out. Janice has laid it out. Like, this is a real show. So definitely take advantage of this show and this content that we talk about. Definitely share this show out. Definitely like this show. Let's say, because I think it is very important that we get this content out here. Yeah, we are in a different time. We are seeing all type of stuff. I had a video I was going to put up, and I decided not to even put it up. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's not even worth it. But we are in a different time. We are seeing different things. We are seeing our young people wilding out here. We are seeing young folks losing their life. We are seeing, man, we seeing it all. We seeing narratives being pushed. We are seeing it all. Yeah, but like I said, we got a responsibility in this thing. As you were saying earlier, Chloe, as the OGs, we done been there and done things. We know how they turn out. So it's up to us to preach a different story for the folks that's coming after us, to advise them to go in a different direction than maybe we went in, and to make some different decisions so that maybe the outcome can be better based on some of the things that we've learned over time. Yeah, but at the end of the day, and I'm a strong believer, some of the stuff that's going on, we got to call it out. Yeah, I know folks run from this stuff. I know they don't want to, and it ain't my business and all that, but eventually it might be your business. If you got kids, if you got young folks you're raising, this stuff may get to your young folks. Yeah, so at the end of the day, we got to call this stuff out. We got to hold folks accountable. That's really the only way it's going to work. The last thing I'll say, and then we out of here. To the young lady in the video that was choking up saying the vows, that was a video from earlier. If you were all the way to the altar in front of the pastor with your husband and you choking up about something, you already getting married for the wrong reasons. Yeah, so my lesson to everybody who's watching this show, who will see this show, marriage is not no game. Yeah, you ain't marrying nobody for no money. You ain't marrying nobody for no clout. You ain't marrying nobody just to be out here so you can walk around with some ring on your finger and then flash it at your girls. Like that's not what marriage is about. So yeah, don't walk into no marriage with nobody unless you're serious. Let's keep it a buck. Yeah, we got to stop playing out here. Yeah, we got to stop playing out here, and you got to be intentional with what you're doing and how you're moving. Yeah, that's the only way some of this stuff is going to turn around. But man, shout out to my panel, man. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Shout out to Eva Wright. Shout out to my guy, The Balance, just checking in. Shout out to Shantae, Kevin Palmer, Remy in the building. Shout out to Donovan. Shout out to Kenyatta. I think that was everybody. I'm scrolling through. I like to make sure everybody is represented. I think I got everybody. If I missed anybody, my apologies, but shout out to all of y'all for y'all comments. I said we got a lot of comments on this show. Shout out to Janice. Shout out to Vince. Shout out to Chloe for representing Kandid Konvos on the panel. We do the show every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, every Wednesday night. Like I said, we on YouTube. We on Facebook, so definitely like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, next time you join us, bring a friend with you. Like I said, share out the show. We want to get this content to as many of our people as possible so we can help us as a community change our trajectory. Man, with that being said, everybody have an awesome night, and we will catch you guys next Wednesday.